There are probably two types of people who want to build a nice gaming rig. Those who can afford to throw money at a high-end top-of-the-line case, and those who would rather save a buck or two on a case and spend it to get that tiny bit more real performance. So for the second type of people, meet the Antec NX100, a gaming PC case that will hopefully satisfy all of your requirements and allow you to get that beefier GPU you always wanted. The Antec NX100 comes in a rather moderate design. With an all matte black finish and the acrylic side panel, this case positions itself right in between the office look and entry-level gaming categories. The case comes in two different looks. We have the black and grey, which I have right here, and a black and yellow model where these grey air vents are sprayed in yellow. So now let's go over the features. The Antec NX100 comes with support for up to 5 120mm fans, one in the back, which is already pre-installed, 2 on the top with a dust filter, and 2 on the front. The back fan spot can be used to install a 120 radiator, while the front spots can be used to install a up to 240 radiator. The spots on top of the case can maybe be used with a extremely thin 240 rad, but overall I would not expect to install anything up there. On the I/O side, the case comes with the usual suspects and one USB 3.0 and two USB 2.0. Inside we have support for up to 80x motherboard size and 7 PCIe cards with these breakout brackets, which are protected by a screw-on plastic piece. The power supply is mounted on the bottom of the case inside of a separate tunnel. And right next to that tunnel is a hard drive cage with support for two 3.5 or two 2.5 inch drives. Additionally, you can screw another two SSDs right next to the mainboard. There are cable cutouts all around the mainboard and on top of the power supply to give you some sort of cable management. Alright, this should be all there is to say about the features. So let's quickly build in this and see how it actually performs. So after building it, I have a bit more to say. Let's start with the things that stood out quite positively. The first thing on the list would be the feet. For a rather cheap case, these are surprisingly good. They are really high, thick and have a rubber underneath that protects your table or maybe your wooden floor from any scratches. The amount of space inside of the case is okay for the price point. The lack of any DVD drives or any other cage in the front allows for pretty big GPUs. The fact that there is a fan included is quite nice, even though it is loud and performs badly, but after all, it was for free. Now the things that stood out negatively. The fact that the PCI brackets have to be broken out is rather old, so for a follow-up version that should be changed. The same thing applies to the plastic piece that protects the PCIe screws. Using a thumb screw and a guided piece is much more convenient. On the cable management side, it is nice that there are holes in there, but a more thought through system would have been nice. But then again, price point. An issue with the cable management arrives when you have a modular power supply and you try to add a cable or basically you try to use it. It will not work. There is just not enough space because of the hard drive cage. But making that removable would, without affecting the cost, solve the issue completely. Now, where we're already on the cable management subject, there is by far not enough space behind the mainboard to fit any cable in there. Additionally, it was extremely hard to get the power cable to the CPU because the only dedicated hole is not like usually above the mainboard but behind it. And like I already said in the features section, there will be probably no possibility to install a RAD on top of the mainboard because there is just no space. And after building it, I can confirm that you will never be able to fit anything up there. But lowering the mainboard for a centimeter or two would make this possible, solve the issue about the CPU cable, and would make this case way more versatile. And while we're already speaking about air going in and out, let's see for the airflow overall. A unnecessary addition is that there are 2 extra 120 fan spots on the PSU tunnel, but I will neither count them as a positive nor negative. But the front airflow is clearly negative. The whole airflow coming into the case from the front is supposed to go through these 2 whole metal pieces in the top and the bottom, but there is absolutely no way that enough air will come through these, so they and the fans behind them are basically useless. To change this, Antec would have to either make them way bigger or add the same type of piece on the sides from top to bottom. A last point is that on the I/O section on top, there are cutouts for an SD card reader, but after looking for any additional versions or upgrades, it doesn't exist. So that's basically just a hole that will never have a purpose and should be changed in a future version, alongside the outdated USB 2.0 ports. Okay, so this brings us to the conclusion. I cannot say that the case is bad considering what it costs. Here in Europe you can get it for around 30 to 35 euros, while on Newegg US it is available for $45. So overall, even though the cable management is garbage, the I/O lacks any innovation, and it has the same airflow as a concrete wall, you will still get support for 2 radiators, 4 SSD, a really good feed, a see-through side panel, even though it is plastic, but still. So overall for 30 bucks, it is a good bang for the buck and doesn't look too bad. Okay, so it's time to wrap this up. I will leave the link for the NX100 in the description below, and I would really appreciate it if you could leave your opinion of this video in form of a thumb up, thumb down, or maybe a comment in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notifications button to get notified when we have a look at another product. Anyway, hope to see you on the next one, but until then, have a look at one of those totally random videos. See ya!